Hola. Hello, hello. Let's do it. Let's do another one. Okay. So, I want to do a video on balancing the left and the right sides. So, I know, well, maybe not everybody knows, but I know that you guys know. If you're watching this video, I feel like you know. The left and the right side corresponding to the feminine and the masculine in a way. I'm going to start looking at it a little bit differently, or just at least this reading, I'm going to articulate it a bit differently. How about that? I'll say that because who knows next time, like I always say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then something completely opposite happens. And so I'll just say this. For this reading, I'm going to do the left and the right side. The energies between, the left and the right side. And so let us get started. That's something else like that. I usually kind of put that on my altar. So yeah, I'll start the reading. I'll put the setting at least, but I put cards up on my altar sometimes when I'm trying to focus and channel things, and this is my goal. This is my goal for, like, the rest of the month at least, or I don't even know, whatever. This is just my thing. I'm going to put that over there. I have my other decks, of course, I'm going to use. So, yeah, there's my other one. And my earth card, I put that up on my altar. I like to look at that and meditate and pray on that. Earth is good, gives us our full cups, and we can be generous with others. Okay, yes, I was going to get started. I would like to know the energies of, please, left side magnetic side, left energy. Okay, please go ahead. Let's just go right into that. Right side. Okay. Left side. We would like some information for left side energy. Okay, one came out. I'm going to take 3. All right. Oops. And for our right side, electric. All right, there's 1. Ooh, there's 2. All right, and I'll just pull numero trace. All right, so let's go ahead and just get started with the right side. All right. So our right side has the Justice. Let's look at our clarifiers. We have the 2 of Swords, the Fool, and 8 of Pentacles. So, okay, right side. There is a balancing work in progress. Okay, the right side is definitely having an overall energy of needing to balance what is right. What's right is what I'm hearing in here. With the 2 of Swords and with the Fool, I feel like this is kind of somewhat of a pause of really kind of looking at, well, what is the right thing? What is actually the right thing to do? Like, how is it that we actually continue to make like real progress on this and really get results, with this 8 of Pentacles? Because when you want justice, or at least that's the balancing energies that you're seeking, like needing what's right is right, like needing to either make good on, your own contracts, or, at least honoring, maybe you need to kind of allow other people to, begin where they are at. So I want to kind of look at, let's get some clarifiers, I feel like, because the Two of Swords and the Fool with the Eight of Pentacles, with the Justice, I'm also feeling that, right side is kind of, having a little slow start to like jump into this like activation of this long work. Like I'm seeing like this justice is not going to just be an overnight. It's definitely going to be something that, right side is like just being very cautious about. Like, I mean, even with the Fool, I just feel like because it's coming after the Two of Swords, that there's somewhat of a hesitation to just jump right in and, head into, like, it's going to basically take a while. It's not just going to be a jump off the cliff decision. This justice is definitely going to come at the expense of working hard, and it says a work in progress, you know what I'm saying? So it's like this is going to be a longer journey, and so the right side is, kind of I'm going to say like looking at it to balance, to like really not, how do I say, like for I was gonna say like for real bringing in the balance. That's what was coming into my head, but like true justice. And it's, the swords are of the mind and of analytical. So if there's not a decision being made right away, it's because sometimes like you do have to just wait and not make a move yet. Like it's okay to be uncertain when you want to make like long-term progress, because you don't want to just like jump off a cliff. Like, yes, you do need to start. You do need to make good on your justice, but I feel like the right side energy is feeling like, I want to do the right thing. And, I'm not really sure how to do that right now, because that's a long, that's a long work in progress. Oh, sorry guys. Oop, knocked it. Is that like, I feel like, all right, is that better? Hopefully. I don't know. I didn't want it to be like pointing on the card. Whatever. Anyway. So, right side. I was going to get some clarifiers because I just wanted to look at, like what is like, what's kind of the stalemate that's starting, because you have to start your justice somewhere. So like what is there an issue, or what is the issue that is keeping this like uncertainty of, starting this work, of getting the justice, of going after what they want. Five of Swords, okay, they don't want to suffer any losses, all right. It says loss on the card. Death, okay, they have the transformation, okay, like definitely don't want to lose basically like everything that they feel that they are. And Nine of Cups, blessings. So I feel like, let's see here. It's so funny because like how these cards came out too. Like death came out underneath the Fool card. Like basically, there's like this transformation, like, this blessing, this to yourself, like basically bringing about your own justice is what is only going to make it right. Does that make sense? I don't know. Sometimes I freaking talk like Yoda. It's so annoying. The words just come out backwards, but like, the only way to get your justice, your wishes fulfilled, is to do it for yourself. And you got the swords on the swords, the right side energy. There's this uncertainty of like, well, what am I going to lose if I start over and I have to start over? Death card, start over. Fool card, start over. Why? Because the work to the wishes fulfilled is going to be, it takes, yeah, of course, like you're like the right side's concerned about losses. I'm not sure about how much I'm going to lose, how much I'm going to really have to jump off the bridge and take that risk to transform my life, you know, to really put in that hard work for like what I want. And I'm hearing in my mind because it's like, what if I don't get justice? What if it's not fair in the end? And so, you know, what I would say to that is that everything happens for a reason. Apparently, we still get directed to where you're supposed to go. For real. Maybe the whole thing is that you do get your justice. Ooh, isn't that cold turkey? Like maybe you really do. And it sucks because yeah, you really, you know, what holds you back is your uncertainty is like, well, what am I going to lose? So, you know, sometimes you don't take the risk to start over or you just delay. Like I was thinking, you know, before it's kind of like this delay of getting started because it's hard work. Like it is going to be a journeys ahead to get that Nine of Cups, to feel that you are just like in this Nine of Cups energy, because it's like a transformation. You don't just go about getting what you want. Sometimes like by doing nothing, you do have to step in this righteousness for yourself. Like it kind of takes maybe different direction, and you know, activating, you know, this different sort of I'm hearing just like, because, you know, the mask, the blindfold is like a different view, a different perception of transformation. Like, you know, like, of course, it's like Scorpio, or not Scorpio, it's like, it's getting into winter season. Like, I always say Scorpio because, like, I love Scorpio season. It's the death card. You got to start over, you know, it's like cut those, it's not cutting losses, but like, even nature sheds, you know, seasonally. And so it's like this time of season, it's a rebirth, you know, it's like it's winter time, you got to go in and there's really, I mean, nothing that you can do. You're kind of, it's just hard. I'm hearing that for the right side, they're having issues with like battling this of, you know, cutting losses and starting over. But I will say what I'm also hearing is that is seasonal. Like things are supposed to cycle and start over, you know. It's supposed to move through. Like you don't just bring about your wishes fulfilled in your justice. And I'm also hearing with this, like it changes. Like sometimes like after you get this Nine of Cups, you know what I mean? Like now you have a new purpose of righteousness, or like, you know, just a new purpose that drives you towards like, well, what is right for me? You know, like I want to get what's fair and what's right in my life, you know, like that is the journey to your fulfillment, to your self-fulfillment, of course. Hopefully, I mean, I know that's what I'm thinking. So, okay, let's see. Right side energy, looking at, you know, potentially just taking this hard, not hard, but slower, steadier work in progress type mentality, you know, as considering as it, or as we are considering what losses that we need to let go. Yeah, maybe I'll just start saying we. This right and left side stuff. But all right, let's look at the left side. Let's look at our left side. Hermit. The Hermit. That's cool though, because you know what, it is like a sage. I'm hearing like personal knowledge, going within one's own, like just trusting one's own timing and knowledge. Let's see what other cards come out. Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Okay, so left side energy. Wow. Ooh, okay, so I'm just hearing in my mind like no games are being played with your own self-deceptions, and even just kind of honoring your own integrity and your own sense of value, and just kind of like wow, I'm just hearing truthfully facing their own, like our own, the right, left side, our own kind of, maybe manipulations. Only I'm saying that because the Seven of Swords with the Six of Wands, it could be like ego-based manipulations. Like basically, like you can frame a situation how you want it. Like there's definitely ways that, you know, you can't, like sometimes, and I'm seeing this Queen of Swords, so it's definitely the left side, feminine energy coming through that has, you know, just very, what's the word? Persuasive ways. Because, you know, receptive water is like you could still kind of not manipulate things, but you know, water, like when basically like being receptive to things is also sometimes just allowing like these energies of being honest and sorry, I'm just like, I can't stop seeing like this river flowing, you know, and it's basically just like washing away all blockages. Like it's like, interesting. I wonder why I'm seeing that. Anyway, well, let's get some clarifiers, I think, because like there also means, I mean, there could be that the the left side energy is also in a place of like, well, I'm on my game. Like this kind of also looks like I'm on my strategy. You know, I trust the wisdom that is me. Like there's strategy and there's basically, what is that? Sharp assertiveness, success and recognition. And I feel like there's also, I'm just hearing a bit of judgment. Like left side is kind of judging. Left side judge, I'm hearing a little bit of judgment. Judgment of self in the way that could potentially be a little bit cold, like negative ego based. Could be kind of deceptive because, you know, when you have pulled in energies and you start looking inside, there could be nurture, like more nurturing needed, because it's like Queen of Swords, which is kind of a cold, well, yeah, kind of like more of a colder to the point, you know, it says sharp and assertive, right? And then it's like success and recognition. So it's like, and this one is even like deception and strategy. It's kind of like, we'll cut the bullshit and like, let's talk real, you know, like that left side energy going within to the Hermit with the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Swords and the Six of Wands. It could be a little bit, not turbulent, but just don't be so judgy. Don't be so judgy is what I'm hearing. Don't necessarily cut yourself off from looking at how manipulations, like how you could alter, you know, situations or in your own mind. Basically, when you go into your own mind, just be knowing of how you construct, you know, those recognitions, how you look at certain perceived thoughts or deceptions, or how you look at things that are just like you laser focus on, you know, because it is kind of like the Hermit energy. It's like, don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up, basically, is what I'm hearing as this Hermit. And maybe it's, and then again, you know, like as I said in the beginning of this left side energy was like, oh, it's like no nonsense. Like really, it's kind of like a no nonsense, but don't be, if, sometimes no nonsense, like it comes off cold. right? Like, I know for myself, this Queen of Swords, like, I have a lot of air in my chart. And so I come off like no nonsense, kind of cold sometimes, you know. And it's definitely, here's another swords energy, right? Like this, even the Seven of Swords. It's very kind of like, that's Seven of Swords with the Queen of Swords, with the Hermit. I'm just like seeing that there's a bit of like snarky judgment, or just like conniving manipulation, you know. And it's really because it's like when you go to the self, you kind of get in the ego too. So like judgment though, like don't be like, oh, I'm better or I'm worse. Like basically, well, let's clarify, of course, but like for the left side, there we go. That's what I'm feeling here. Let's see. The World, Page of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. I have to clarify this Five of Pentacles because it's almost like impatience is what I'm hearing. Like basically this snarky judgment maybe about having to go within this Hermit energy. For the left side is like when is the completion going? Like when do I get my recognition? When do I get that when is the strategy, or like all my not all my manipulations, but like everything I've constructed, everything I've like harnessed and like grabbed to put together, when because even with the Five of Pentacles, it says isolation, but it also could just be like kind of budget issues or just like financial material issues, you know, like with this Page of Pentacles, like kind of maintaining a certain generative, like when like generative, like basically like some kind of steady income like thing. So it's maybe not income, but it's basically some kind of steady income of, you know, material possessions, something you can touch, something that you can hold, something that makes you feel like warm on the inside. Like it's basically an external, because, well, that's how I'm feeling. You know, it's like this Hermit, when you got to pull inside, maybe you start looking, well, what does my external have? And so let's clarify that Five of Pentacles. What's this Five of Pentacles about? Temperance. What else? Page of Wands. I'll do one more. And the Judgment. Okay. Ugh. You know what's really hard, I think, for the left side energy is that there is a judgment. Didn't I say that like 50 million times? Sometimes I gotta stop talking because I feel like, of course, you're gonna manifest what you talk about. So, you know, there's like this whole inner work going on. And this inner work, this healing, this temperance, this like modification, and like taking what passions, what drives, you know, this energy, what drives the left side energy, and healing it, because there's always been kind of a lot of distortions, you know, manipulations and deceptions for recognition purposes. It could be to just appear a certain way, you know. Sometimes, you know, in the world, there's always like images that you have to, you don't have to maintain, but that there's expectations basically. When you are perceived, you know, as a certain energy, I guess you could say, you know, being more left energy or being more right, or being more feminine or being more masculine is basically my point. You know, there's going to be some sort of alchemy. There's going to be a change, a transformation that's going to happen. This temperance and this judgment is also going, and this world card, of course, it's like whole, like shifting cycles. But the thing is with the hermit and the temperance is these things are not overnight. And a lot of times when there's like these expectations and just kind of even your own thoughts, you know, this Queen of Swords, air, Seven of Swords, air, Swords cards, you know, like these are thoughts. And when the ego is attached to material things, when, you know, is what I'm hearing. I'm judging of like, when is it going to show that my healing is done, you know? When do I get to come out of this karmic review? When am I going to be done with this judgment? When am I going to be done with this judgment, you know? And I feel like what really was holding this up is the lack mentality, the scarcity mentality, the idea that you can't succeed even as you have to transcend isolation, budget issues, feeling as though, you know, you got to pull back. You have to I was going to say strategize. Yeah, you have to redo some kind of strategies, you know. The success and recognition of the Six of Wands is you coming back successful from battle. Why? Maybe you were handling some things and now you're not. It's kind of like a different sort of karmic review that basically is slower because, yeah, the impatience is in my mind is popping out again. When, why? Because there is a bigger process happening. And when you become this wise, like sage, you keep transforming. Like he's an alchemist. And then learning is never ending, you know, like I love it. Like knowledge is never ending. Like you can always continuously review what you know and start over. It's funny that we got judgment though. So like definitely be wary of these like deceptive judgments as this karmic review and the internal. For the left side, there's always going to be like a lot of sharp, assertive, sort of like, show me where the recognition, like show me where you were successful. It's like, you know, like show me where you were being deceptive, you know, within this judgment of the rebirth. Within this healing, there's always going to be looking at like, that was so unfair, that really put me out, or like, when is it going to be this turn on my luck, you know, of being able to kind of maintain and keep persevering and not feeling like, okay, I got kicked out again, knocked on my ass again, another karmic review, more layers to heal. It's okay, you know what I mean? There's anything worth having is worth working for. Matters of the heart are not to be like spoiled overnight. Like it kind of like you got to build on it. Okay, so let me see here. Let's do, what about some like union? Because we did the left and the right, and it just seems like only right that we do for the combo. So for union of these balancing of the left and right, what is advice? Advice for union. All right, so to balance these, right, so that we do the unification, of course, it's like you take your left, you take your right, and you bring them together and you balance them. And we looked at that, you know, right side is a little bit weary, doesn't really know where to start with all this hard work, doesn't really want to suffer any losses, you know, but of course, transformation is always key, and you just gotta rebirth like it's winter time, let it go. And we just did left side, looking at, again, it's like it kind of has a similar theme. I think is just kind of pulling back. It's time for healing. It's like you gotta go in. You gotta do the work. You gotta do the work. All right, one more. So what's up with bringing them together? If we want to balance that, Hangman. Okay. Isn't that funny? Don't you just love Spirit? Spirit's funny. Got jokes. Your hands are tied. I mean, really, literally, it's kind of like a thing of where you just have to go do the work. You got to pull back. Knight of Swords. And the Hierophant and the Lovers. Wow. Okay, so it's kind of like, are you going to do this or no? Are you going to honor your decision to do this healing and to do this hard work or no? Because actually there's you're going to be tied up in it anyway, is what I'm hearing, is that it's happening anyway. It's going to happen anyway. But it's kind of like what actions. It says decisive actions, right? And then spiritual advisement for the Hierophant. And then, of course, it's the Lovers card, which is like, this card says twin flame connection, but, the Lovers is also about making decisions. And so I feel like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. I'm hearing in my mind, like, I could give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? Are you gonna do, it's gonna happen. The work has to happen. There's not going to be some sort of just easy way to get through what balancing each side. You just have to, what I'll do is I'll do an advice for each side. Because, the Knight of Swords is just basically, I'm seeing it as like, what are you going to charge ahead with to really kind of like devote yourself to? The Hierophant is, it's a spiritual advisement, but the Hierophant, is also kind of like how you're going to handle yourself. Like, are you going to keep, I'm just seeing kind of like the Hierophant sitting on the throne, and it's like a spirit, I guess it is spiritual advisement, but it's like, how are you going to handle your commitments, to what is sanctuary, or like what is your sanctuary, like what is special, what is your spiritual, like what is sanctuary for you, like what is precious to you, what is your love, what brings you the twin flame unity, what brings you, what actions are you going to take, kind of like what can you do, even like maybe just like pulling in, to alchemize this is just recognizing that, wow, it's going to happen regardless. Like, this is a kind of a divine intervention of what is happening, and the action of this spiritual, or even just this work, is going to be the choice. Is going to be the choice. Like, are you going to hop on? And even just these images, like, are you going to make that commitment, take that ride, make that choice to do this hard work, or to do this, it was the judgment came out in here too. That's work. That's inner work. That's alchemizing, temperance and judgment. It is a lot of work. Okay. I wanted to do some advice. Let's do some advice. Advice for right side energy. Wow. Got the death card again. This time it says what? I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. Oh my God. Hey, cut your losses. Or maybe that's a scary word for you, losses. It's like, I lost. No, it's not really a loss. Learn that the ending of that is just merely a beginning. It's merely the beginning. All right. Yeah. Because whatever's holding you back from starting that hard work, it's merely just the beginning. Don't even worry about cutting that loss or seeing it as like the death. And for the left energy, self-esteem for sure. Wow, I'm definitely hearing that. Because you know what, that self-esteem with that Six of Wands, but let me read it. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. You know, sometimes that ego can get in the way because like you're just trying to transform a lot of the past, and so you heal yourself with self-esteem though. Like it doesn't have to be like a negative association like of this ego with the six. Like basically what I was thinking with the Six of Wands is like kind of a little like the confidence issue could be rattled, or just it's kind of like having to transmute and heal. It burns the ego a little bit, you know what I mean? Like especially when it's like I was tricked or I was deceived, and like I got to be cold-hearted about certain issues, or just the judgment, like you said, judgy on yourself. No judgy. Self-esteem, no judgy. Self-esteem. Okay, you know, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Where is it at? And that World card was their success, completion, gifts, you know, and that benefit others. The Six of Wands was there too, of coming back around after, you know, the doing the work definitely leads to the self-esteem. So love you guys and see you next time. All right, take care. All right.